Check, check. Yo, what's going on? This is another live stream. Hey. So yes. Today we're going to be making dubstep, making sounds, EDM, basically whatever ends up being created. We'll see, basically. No plan necessarily. This will be a chat though, and it's also gonna be, I'm gonna show you guys some tricks and stuff that I've learned in the past little while that I've found that it has been very helpful. Actually, starting with one thing, I just wanted to show you guys real quick, because I nailed a sound that I never thought I could get, and it's a few years late for sure. But it's still pretty awesome. So, well, I'll just search for it. Breakin' Sweat. And okay, so it's probably, I'll see this one. So it's Breakin' a Sweat. So that's one version, and I think the second version is a little bit, has a little bit longer of an attack and maybe a different tone. Yeah, so that's basically it. But I will go through it because I thought it was just so interesting. So how we doing, everybody? I know Hyperlist is in here. Yes. Just feel free to chat me up. Yeah, okay, so I got the chat up here on my phone. This is pretty cool. Okay. So, how the heck do you make something like this? That's a good question. Thank you for asking. So, first of all, let's listen to it without no processing, okay? That's it. That's what it sounds like. Which is so puzzling at first, but okay. Now, first of all, how do you even get that? How do you even get that tone? So I'm going to show you. So this is a sine wave with a filter, a low pass filter that has a resonance. So basically the oscillation from the sine wave is triggering the resonance. So that's why it takes a little bit of time for the higher frequency to kick in. Whoops. So that's why you hear, it's kind of like a whistle too. If you take out the filter, it sounds like that. But essentially this is just a sine wave with a filter, high resonance, a low pass. It can't be a high pass because then you'd be cutting out the low frequency. And also the feedback adds a little bit of time. It kind of slows down the second, sine wave, the oscillation. So, okay, so that's how you get the basic thing going. And if you want, you can really just do the distortion inside of massive, in which case you'll get something like that. But I don't like that too much because, oops. Okay, no, that's not good. Okay, the reason why you don't want to do the distortion in massive is just because you get this like generic, like okay sounding distortion, whereas you can actually do more, more better sounding distortions outside of massive afterwards. So I accidentally just, I'm a little rusty at this stuff. What's going on, knobby knees? Welcome to the stream. What's hoppin'? I'm hoppin'. Famous VayHoz, yes. Demon of Waves, what's going on? Yeah. How you guys doing? You got the Breakin' a Sweat patch here, basically. But yes, so that was just a massive patch, right? Which sounds like this, kind of stupid. And now I'm gonna go through the effects. So you got an amp here, which is really what, this is the distortion I'm talking about. Like, so you can either, do it outside of massive, which sounds just exceptional, or you could do it inside massive, which is gonna be alright. But yeah, I found the amp on this particular setting just really spot on, basically. Okay. And following that, just a compressor. This I got on sale, and not gonna lie, I got it because Virtual Ride got it at first, but now I actually kind of I appreciate it a little bit more, having experimented with it. API, by the way, is like an old classic compressor. It's an emulation of that compressor, and it has a kind of unique tone. Like it just slams it down, and I don't know. It's different, and I prefer having a nice visual interface like that sometimes, and that's really the point of having that really loud in comparison to my voice. Okay, thank you. Check. Okay, there you go. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay, so, but yes. Compressor, OTT, 14%. Really small improvement. Okay, Maserati. Okay, so this is actually really interesting. It's kind of like my one of my signature plugins, I guess, for now. Anyways, you can get it on sale at some point during the whatever cycle of the year or something. But what I like about this is it's literally like multi-band compression and a little bit of saturation and distortion, and I don't know, it's tone. That's what it is. It's gives it a unique tone. Look at the difference. So anyways, you guys will stumble across your own sort of plugins that'll give you unique sounds, or unique tones that you like and whatever. Another OTT, of course. And finally, a glue compressor. And this, I basically slam on to a lot of my sounds at the end. Basically what it does is it just slams the waveform. I'll just show you real quick. So no compressor, here's the waveform. And with the compressor, here's the waveform. So it it slams it. You can clip it a little bit more if you want. No problemo. We good now. OTT. Oh yes. Yeah, I saw a Knife Party tweet something like, "Oh, kids, OTT is not cool anymore," or something like that. It's like, yeah, dude, not really. It's like you can. We're just getting started with OTT and what you can do with it. Really, like, as long as you don't like overuse it and slam it on everything so that it's super obvious and it sounds like shit, which some people do. I mean, it's a tool, just like, it's like saying, okay, like Serum is not cool anymore. It's like, yeah, dude, sure, And funny thing about Knife Party is that in a podcast, I actually heard them talk about how Serum has kind of ruined sounds or ruined dubstep or something like that. And I just listened to their new release, and I'm like, dude, this sounds like Squarified in FM from B. Like, so I don't know. I'm really not a fan of the new Knife Party, other than one song. There's one particular song that just sounds like one of my shitty demos from from like 2 years ago, and I don't know. It's not for me. I don't know. We all have our own tastes and stuff. And I mean, they bash music all the time, and I think it's fair game if I bash theirs. So okay. So live is a little bit glitchy. That latest release is Riddim with 2015 VR presets. Yeah, well, it's very weird. It's like it lacks. There's no groove at all. It just sounds so forced. I guess is what I would say. There's one song though, which is like has like a loon sound in it. I really like that one, and I think you guys will know which one I'm talking about. I could pull it up, but yeah. Hey Vay, so I've been using FL for 3 years, and now I'm trying to move to Ableton. Do you have any tips on how to switch? Yes, well, I've done the switch, as you probably know. So Damn. Okay, so if you absolutely have to do the switch, then yes, I have tips for you. But I would try to encourage you to maybe not switch unless it's absolutely necessary, which it might be. I can understand that for sure. Okay, so it's basically to try to make as much music as you can with Ableton, so that you know, and you get in the habit, and you learn it as fast as possible. And the way to learn it as fast as possible is just to pump out music like mad, because then you'll actually get used to it. That's kind of my mistake, because I didn't make enough music during my switch, so it took me probably a year or too long to learn it. But it still will take you roughly a year, I think, to get used to it, like if you're hardcore about it. Can't wait to get Ableton, but I was also recommended to try out Bitwig before making a switch. Yeah, you could try the demos, eh? If you want, you don't have to pay for basically any of them. So until you really find the one that you like. Yeah, but I don't know. I find for dubstep, Ableton is probably the better option. Just, you don't have to deal with Edison and for resampling and stuff like that. It's kind of really easy. The stock stuff is all pretty standard, pretty like all the stock plugins pretty good. But yes, okay, so I'm gonna make some sounds and I'll check the chat periodically. So okay, I've been screwing around a lot with FM8, and I'll show you guys why, I guess. So I don't know, it might seem kind of stupid to go back to FM8 because it's such an old synth. Like, how old is this thing? 2015. No, that's not the release date. It's like probably around 10 years old, I would say. Something like that. But the essence of why it's interesting to use this thing is because that's kind of how they made the wavetables in Massive in the first place, along with like mathematical formulas and stuff. But it's a lot of FM and stuff. That's how Skrillex made a bunch of growls, but that's also how you make unique sounds that don't sound like, it gives you like a layer of control. And I'll show you guys kind of a workflow that you can use if you'd like. Look at the effect plugins in Bitwig. Looks similar to Ableton plugins like EQ and compressors. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can make heavy dubstep in FL. It's just limiting on what I can do with modulation and FM. See that Ableton is pretty good at that. Yeah, well, modulation and FM. The big thing I think for me with FL was it was just too chaotic. I really needed like a streamlined like approach where your track has automation tracks linked directly to it, and you can't just move clips around and be all confused as to what does what. I think that was the biggest thing. And the streamlined workflow, I guess, is what I was looking for. But frequency modulation, I mean, Citrus can do that no problem, right? And also, Operator comes with Ableton, but only if you get the Suit edition, which is like $1,000 or something like that. Which I eventually got to, but still, Okay. So, first of all, the thing you might notice with FM8 is that it's kind of it's less bright as a lot of synths. So this is a sawtooth. And, as you can hear, there's not much top end, but if you feed the oscillator back into itself, it'll be more bright. But I think the idea behind this is that it's easy as hell to make a really shitty, harsh sounding bright sound, but it's actually a lot harder to make something sort of mid-rangey, and I think this was the idea behind making it less bright. Anyways, so okay, the cool thing with this is if you get the basic hang of FM, okay, it's so easy to switch between the waveforms in here. Like, you literally just do that, and then you can adjust the frequencies really easily. So you can really dial in the tone that you're looking for. So if you understand a little bit how FM works and all that stuff, then this is like perfect, basically. So anyways, I'll keep playing with this a little bit so you guys can see. And I think it's kind of like the reason why people like modular in a way, except that I find it more cool because you get to save the patch. I'm always a fan of that. Like, this is kind of cool, even without any filtering. Okay, I'll go a little crazy so you guys can see more possibilities. I'm gonna go like really high with the ratio here. And maybe, oops, maybe really high, way higher. Okay. Anyways. Tons of tones and possibilities. It's hard to like make something amazing under pressure, but kind of like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna jump into the other thing that I wanted to cover in this thing, which is actually processing chains, and more specifically like pre-made, tweaked processing chains. Let me put this mic down. I don't like the angle of this, but okay, whatever. Here comes the Riddim. Yeah, no, no, I'm not gonna do Riddim, at least today. Okay, so processing chains. I have quite a few chains that they're basically effects that I've put together that beef up the sound and give it like basically a unique tone, but unique, like let's say unique in quotes, because I was trying to emulate like heavily processed Skrillex sounds, for example, where they sound like this at first, then you put the chain on and it sounds like this, or obviously it's louder, but you get that pumping effect. And this, depending on what source you put in, it sounds like way cooler. And especially with like filtering and stuff like that. Let's try doing that. But yeah, anything with like low pass filters, high passes. So, okay, you can really hear the difference. This is like a little bit, you know, it sounds dull basically, and then you put this on and it basically brings out a bunch of things. I think it would best be displayed with Serum presets, because that's usually what I have them on. FM with a triangle and a good bass comes. Yeah. Okay, I have a lot of presets. I make so many presets like every month. It's ridiculous. Okay. Okay, so you can really hear that it brings things out. I wonder what this is gonna sound like. Okay. These aren't my favorite. Okay, let's say this. I need something that's not too processed. Okay, that's pretty good. So, you know, it makes it sound like from raw to processed, basically. And I'll just go through this effect chain real fast. So, once again, the API processor, or compressor, which basically, if you can emulate the sound with the stock compressor, it comes down to the same thing, right? Except sometimes those plugins, the manufacturers put a little EQ or something on it and do other things to make it sound just good, even if you just pop it on without any settings. So that's one thing to consider. OTT. This is the Maserati again. And actually it's the same chain as earlier, literally. And also I've got a few alternations of sometimes less processing. Oops, this is loud. Sometimes more distortion. Like this one is obviously way more distorted. Metallic overtones, yes. And if you look at the differences here, there's an overdrive. Okay, also this release, we're just gonna put a gate because this is just insane. Okay, so let's take off the overdrive and the other overdrive, and it'll sound a little bit less distorted. So yes, this helps. Got a Yo Man, which is a chorus preset in Ableton. But yeah, OTT with varying amounts of percentages, I guess. Once again, the Maserati gives it a kind of unique tone. Sometimes there's little EQ curves onto these chains, which can make it more unique and stuff like that. Yeah. So, okay. Yes. What are things that you guys are maybe struggling with or working on right now? Are you guys making dubstep, EDM? Are you guys writing country music? Those are the things I'm doing. I got a message here, but I don't want to open it in public. Can I post something? Yes, but I will listen to it later. Okay. Oh yes, there's the new Skrillex songs that came out. Right? There's the Ping Pong, which is what a lot of people know it as. It's called Fuji Opener or something like that. And the other one is some Mumbai, blah blah, whatever. But basically, I tried to recreate one of these. I've been trying to recreate these for a while. The Ping Pong one especially. Oh gosh. This is not even... Whew. Okay, sometimes I try to recreate something and I just go on a tangent. And end up just making a bunch of weird sounds. So, I think it's this. Whew. This is not the Ping Pong. Oh. Yeah, this is kind of weird. Ping Pong. I have too many attempts at it. So, but I know I got really close with one of them. Maybe just this. Anyways, yeah, just a bunch of weird things. Oh, I forgot to read this. Could put the gate after the effect rack and still have the overdrive. Oh yes, but the thing is, there's a release, like a reverb tail going into the chain, so that's what I'm trying to cut out. Because you can't really cut it out after the chain unless you fade and you cut and you resample kind of thing. So that's why I tend to put the gate before the effect chain. You can tweak it to still get the overdrive. But yeah, that's the reason. Having issues with drop arrangements. Oh yeah, dude, that is a tough thing. Well, I'll tell you kind of an anecdote if you want. So a lot of my dubstep drops, they start off as rough ideas and like they're not very innovative or they're not exceptional or anything like that. But then you come back to it like the next day and you start like screwing with it, and you just make it incrementally better. And sometimes you end up like rearranging it and going like, holy shit, this is super catchy. And like, so it's really just like keep going at it, you know, keep trying, without like modifying it too much so that it's unrecognizable, although sometimes that's exactly what's required, right? So yeah, just, man, keep moving those sounds around. Sometimes you have to swap sounds and keep sound designing. That's, you know, so yeah, don't worry, it's a common thing for everybody. Although, yeah, currently working on an album. Yo, that is respect right there, dude. That's awesome. How many tracks do you kind of know, ballpark? How many you gonna put out? Yo, could you show how you made that square wave bass in Serum? Square wave. Did I just play it, or hold on? Are you talking about this one? I think this is a total accident, kind of. This was me trying to recreate the ping pong sounds, which is you know, the weird like flang comb thing. Hyperlist also gave you a follow. Yo, thank you. Oh, okay, you gave Hyperlist a follow. That's awesome. Okay, so, but if you want, I could show you how to make this one. Unless you can tell me more specifically which one it was. Okay, this is a very weird one though. I'll take off the delay and reverb. The delay happens to be doing quite a bit of a difference though. I'll take off all the stuff that isn't making a huge difference. Okay, so this is basically what we're left with. So your typical FM from B, you know, saw wave into square. The saw wave is way higher. And we can play with the pitch a little bit, so you get an idea of what kind of tones you can expect from this thing. But yes, it's not very like pleasant at first if you just listen to that. And I didn't really come up with it just by listening to this. It was kind of like a, you know, I got a basic thing going with a source and a filter and distortion. Then I started playing with different values. So I don't know how exactly I ended up with this, but yes, so the filter gives it kind of a tone like that. With the distortion, it kind of comes back, you know, the crunchiness. And then there's this comb filter, which gives it that metallic, you know, kind of thing. OTT brings it out a lot, followed by an EQ, which this is high passing, but it's also kind of peaking a little bit. So with the resonance, right? So if you don't have any resonance, it doesn't pop out, but if you do, you hear that wom wom. So that's a big thing. The low pass is filtering out some of that high end so that it cuts out when it's not at the peak, like around here kind of. You can, you know, modify the intensity of that if you want. And finally the delay, which really gives it another level of metallicness, basically. My mic is too quiet still. Really? Hold on, let me fix this once and for all. I'm gonna check the level. Check. Okay, here. There. This should be fine. What's up, Stereozo? Welcome to the stream. Not too late, actually. We've been going for 30 minutes. A little bit late. It's all good. Have you heard about the Space Invaders remix comp? I have, yeah. It's a great opportunity for anyone who's looking to make a name for themselves as a producer. Just keep in mind that their label is gonna take like at least 50% of your track, at least. That's you know, and so you're gonna lose a bunch of rights. You're not gonna be able to do what you want with the track. But if you need the sort of branding and positioning from that, then it might be worth it. You know, you're probably not gonna get paid because it's a competition. But you know, if you're really motivated and you really want to get ahead, this is a fucking really awesome opportunity. Yes. Yeah, I'm not gonna be taking part of it personally. Although I did consider it. So, is anybody gonna actually take part in it? Also, I find it a little bit difficult remixing a a dubstep track, and I think the thing that turned me off with that track is that it's way too like electro, and like there's too many melodies, and I like, if I'm gonna remix this thing, like what am I gonna do? That's the question. Am I just gonna take the melodies and use them as a verse, and then like, you know, scrap the drop because it's a remix, right? So anyways, yeah, I didn't really feel that track enough to go for it. Fashionably late. Yes, there is though. Okay, well, this is interesting. So I was trying to figure out how to make sort of red lips type of stuff. But this goes even more into sort of the techniques that Skrillex uses with vocals to make sounds. So this, if you're wondering, this was actually a vocal sample. I'm gonna take off all the effects so you guys actually get an idea of what's going on. So this is a vocal that says "make me hot." Basically, it's a "make me hot." I know it's hard to tell from this thing, but the basic idea of this thing. Oh wait, there's PWM. Make me hot. Okay, so the basic idea is that you import a vocal with some setting like FFT 500 whatever or 1000. You experiment with it a little bit, then you play it really low so that it just loops, right? The essence of granular synthesis, basically. And then you can use PWM to pitch it back up so that basically you're looping. Basically, this should be, if it was playing at this pitch, normally this would be filled out with other information from the next frame. But since we're doing PWM, we're just taking a snippet of the frame and we're playing it higher, basically. So that's why you get that effect. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'm terrible, I think, at explaining this stuff, but it's complicated. But so then you can get some really interesting percussive effects from this stuff. Okay, and then you can use like high pass filter. So this kind of sounds a little bit like red lips. I found at least. Okay, so that's that one technique. You can use the whole rest of the effects in Serum to really make something unique and interesting. But okay, the other Skrillex technique with vocals that I wanted to talk a little bit about is the stretching of vocals. I need some electric guitars for the ideas I have for the verses and the remix. Power chord stuff. Huh, interesting. Hit me up. I might be able to hook you up with that, because I have an electric guitar and I actually don't mind performing a little bit. Yes. So we're okay. The other technique. So I have to find a vocal of some sort. I don't want to use. They ready? That's a little bit. Oh well, you know what? Just for the sake of this, I'll use it. This is a splice vocal that Virtual Right used one of these for hit him with the, which hit him with the
laser.
Yeah.
Hit him with those.
So that's in Dogfight, I believe.
They ran.
Anyways, dude, it's so easy to make a vocal sample pack. You know, like all the dubstep guys are gonna use it basically because who wants to yell dumb shit in a microphone? You know.
They ran.
So, anyways, the Skrillex technique I'm talking about is granular synthesis.
They ready.
So you put it on texture, which is basically granular, and you make it twice as long.
They ready for.
Maybe even longer. So.
They ready for the.
And you hear Skrillex doing shit like that all the time.
Ready for.
Okay, and also you can have a little bit more delay on there, for a stereo effect, or even other stuff too. There it is. So let's say.
Ready for the.
If you, so you guys kind of, you probably recognize that.
Ready for.
Yeah. Shreddage for guitars, yeah. Do you know how I can get that granular stuff in FL? Well, that's a good question. There's a granulizer in FL. So hold on, let me pull this up. I have FL on this computer, so you know we'll do that. Okay, just gotta make sure that you guys can hear this. Okay. Yes, you guys can hear it. Perfect. I haven't done this ever. Okay, so fruity granulizer. Yeah, now I have to find that sample. Hey. Let's go in here. Samples, yes. Vocals, dubstep catchphrases. Oh my gosh, this is not a dubstep catchphrase. Nope, this either. Okay, this is
Gonna get.
okay. How am I gonna drag this in here? Let's do this. Pretty sure I can figure this out for you. Merp. Oh, come on.
Gonna get sick, gonna get sick, gonna ready to get go. Gonna get sick, gonna ready to get gonna get sick, gonna ready to get go. Gonna get sick, gonna ready to get go.
I don't know how you slow it down. Oh, there you go. So yes, fruity granulizer will do it for you. Basically, yeah. Yeah, FL's got all the stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I suggest, you know, everybody should stay in their DAW and not switch like me. But oh well. Hold on, there was another request I think for sounds. I stayed away from granulizer because I never took the time to learn it, but it's super simple. Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get your hands dirty. Okay. Trying to look for something interesting here. Yeah, okay, are you guys interested in looking at Massive X? And also, did anybody get it other than me? In this chat, at least. Zomboy Scream. Let's see what this is. Oh, yes! Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is basically an FM. Which is basically it. It's FM from A. They're all saws, basically. And then the scream can give it a really interesting twist. I'd like to see Massive X. Alright, we can take a look. Massive X is not as immersed as Serum or Faceplant in the original Massive R. Immerse. I don't know what immerse means. What does this mean? Dip or submerge in a liquid. Involve one deeply in a particular activity or interest. Well, I think that's subjective, but we're going to take a look at it, and you guys, I guess, can make up your own mind. Okay. So, the thing I like about this, at least on first look, so, okay, one thing that's annoying is the default preset is basically stupid. It doesn't do anything that I want. So I had to make my own, and I could actually cover that if any of you are struggling with this too. But okay. The wavetables are actually really interesting. Like, I can show you. Okay, that one particularly not the best. So they've got a lot of vowels, which is what this is basically like a squarified kind of FM type of deal. So I think they've really put a lot of effort into the wavetables. But okay, let's look at basic waveforms just for now, so that it doesn't get too complicated. Yeah, so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So there's still basic FM like this. This is not anything like exceptional, except that they built it in for both oscillators, and you can actually FM. So this is your oscillator A, let's say, and you can FM from this guy and this guy at the same time. So yeah, it can give you some interesting possibilities. So let's say you got this, and then now you can do this. And this is just 3 oscillators. There's no filtering at all. Just lots of possibilities. And yeah, anyways, so that's basic FM. Not too interesting or anything like that, but it's useful. Then I'll skip to the interesting stuff, because bend is obvious. Like, everyone knows what bend is if you're in dubstep. Mirror, you know, it's like same as Serum, basically. Hard sync, this is actually more interesting than Serum, in my opinion, because you actually have a lot of different modes. So it's like advanced hard sync. Let's listen to these different things. And they've got different tones too. So, you know, it's more than just like, oh, it's Serum. It's less than Serum. It's like, no, wait a second. It's more than that. Okay, this is rap. I'm not entirely sure. This sounds like another Foreman type thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure why that's in there. Another Foreman. Except this is more like vocally. Yeah, lots of possibilities with this stuff. Okay, art. This is another weird thing. On first listen, it kind of sounds like no custom wavetables yet, as far as I know. No. Hopefully they add that. That'd be cool, but I don't find it as a requirement for me personally. I don't care that much. I'll take the limitation, you know, it's fine. So this sounds kind of like an acid type of deal here. And you can different modes once again. I'll try to go with the more drastic, you know, sounding things. So it's really hard to get bored even just in this oscillator section. There's just so much to experiment with, and you just try all the combinations with the wavetables, and you've got like a lot of fun and experimenting to do. So that's what I like about it. Gorilla, this is like, I don't really understand this thing. It's kind of like FM. I'll let you hear. It also could be a mathematical formula or something, but it sounds really tailored to dubstep. I'll tell you that. And calm. So different gorilla modes, I guess. This is interesting. Times 2, it'll give you, it's kind of like a ratio, so it'll go squarey, basically. And I love that sound. It's just, this is like a mix, as far as I can tell. I don't really know, actually. But yeah, it seems to be like an amount or a mix kind of deal. Let's listen to 3. Like, it's really cool. It's like FM kind of, and with different ratios. But it's unique. And then this I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I think it's... Yeah, anyways, you guys heard some sound demos. Pretty cool. That's what I liked about it anyways. I think there's a couple more things. Okay, now that's... As far as what I'm interested in, that's pretty much it. Because I don't know, like, this is kind of random and like I'm not super experimental with randomness. I don't dig it as much, let's say. Okay, now the filters, they're a different set of filters. Okay, I'll put that straight up. There's obviously your low pass, high pass, and stuff like that, and you might have an additional filter out here. In fact, you do. It's is it here? Anyways, so yeah, it's very interesting. It's something to experiment with. I still don't quite get how to make the maximum out of it, because it's not as fun as the oscillator section, in my opinion. But you still get some interesting things. And it's definitely still completely valid for getting those vocal, like, wow, you know, like with the resonance and stuff like that. Yo, you can demo Massive X, you know, you don't have to buy it. It's completely free. I highly recommend that. I used to not do that until I didn't have as much money as I wanted to dump on random stuff. Highly recommend demoing stuff. Okay, this anima thing is actually really cool. I find myself using it a lot. It's kind of like a chorus that stays, you know. And basically, it seems to be completely mono compatible too. This is mono, so like it's really good for dubstep and rhythm and stuff like that. I find it very faithful. Okay, the distortions, they're interesting as well. Not my favorite, but they do the job. So if you're willing to, you know, take the limitations of the distortion and the synth, I guess, as a whole, because you could get some pretty cool stuff out of it. And yeah, I guess pretty much my favorite things about this synth. There's unison as a global thing, I believe. The routing is also kind of interesting. Although I'm not a guy that likes, you know, overcomplicating routing, to be honest. So this is my default preset, which is based on the Massive default preset. So I'm not huge on like, oh, we could get it through there and then, you know, move it there. I just like getting a good waveform, slapping a filter on it, slapping some effects, and that kind of thing. So, but if you're experimental with that, you can do that too. Okay, and also the envelopes are actually way easier to use than they might look. It's the same as Massive, the first one basically. So this is E1. E1 is the first one. Sustain. It's like it's not a brand new thing that you have to learn. It's still based on the old, you know. I'm gonna take that off. But yes, and also the LFOs, I had to kind of make my custom LFO in the default preset, because you can put different values, which is kind of confusing for each of these things. So anyways, what I like is to have 1 second. Okay, what I like is having a really fast option and just having it go down mathematically, dividing by 2. And then you could switch the shapes. This is actually really cool. Like, this has given me lots of different options, because in Serum you have to like think about what shape you want to put, but in this you just like slap a shape on. Yes. And also, you have to like set the, you have to think here and figure out which one will do trigger. It's not simple like in Serum, so that's why I did a default preset, because this pisses me off. Like, what the hell is RST? It's reset probably, but like loop GTE, like, okay, like I don't know what that means. Like sync, free, os. I don't want to think about what the hell these three things do. Like I know that os will change the LFO speed based on your key. So for example, so that's, you got that, and then free is just free, like it'll stay the same on each note. Whereas os, anyways. I find that a little bit annoying personally. Yeah. Static chorus. Anima definitely useful. Oh yes, definitely. Okay, so I think that basically covers what Massive X is for me anyways. Yes, and lots of interesting waveforms. They put some older ones back in there too, like as you can recognize, probably Modern Talking. It's like, okay, I don't think this one should have been in there, but I guess they did it for the joke of it, maybe, or maybe they were serious, like they thought it was gonna be used a whole lot. Maybe it will, who knows. Anyways, yes, that is Massive X. Cool. I would use Performer over LFO in Massive X since you can draw your own LFO shape. Can you explain ring modulation? Yes, I can. Performer over LFO. I haven't experimented a lot with the Performer. I think I would have to tweak it a little bit in my default preset, because it'll just, I think it's free running as a default, which is kind of annoying. For example, like, look, put this on the volume, for example, and not quite sure. Okay, so first of all, you have to turn it on, so that's okay. Yeah, no, I haven't figured this out. Nope. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how this works. But I will explain ring modulation, as far as I understand it, anyways. So, ring modulation is volume automation. So it's basically you're turning the volume knob up and down so fast that you eventually get a pitch out of it. And so, okay, this is our square wave. So if you listen to it, like this, you'll actually hear the volume go up and down. And there seems to be more of a shape than just a regular sine wave. Like this looks like it's going up and down at a very much more particular thing than just a regular sine wave. Because if you put a regular sine wave on here, you'll get a different sound, I think. But you hear the pitch you get out of this thing, right? Just with regular volume. But yes, it's a very weird technique. It's not like my go-to thing, but you can actually use it to get some vowel-y sounds and some like atonal, metallic-y kind of stuff. And if you key sync it as well, sometimes you can get the exact tone that you want. Yeah. I've been doing this without really knowing. That's how I make risers. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I find it interesting. I'll slap it on once in a while, but not like a go-to thing. I'm actually curious to see the waveform, if it's just a regular sine wave or not. Like, okay, let's like see what happens here. Oh, well, this is actually weird because, yeah, I don't think it's a sine wave. It's more complicated than that. But yeah, it's kind of displayed in the waveform. Anyways, okay, who wants to make some sounds? I'm gonna make some sounds in Serum, I guess. Yes. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with like some more squarey and vowely type of stuff. And yeah, we'll just see where this takes us, basically. And yes, I will look at the chat as well. Whew. It's actually really hot in here. And damn. Yes, yes, I will spend the rest of the day after the stream outside, I think. This is very crunchy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. When I'm in sound design mode, I'm not like the most talkative kind of thing. I should try using ring mod filter as well. Yeah. I'd be curious to hear if you guys make anything cool with it. That'd be cool. Okay, this is interesting. There's movement. Huh. This is actually pretty interesting. Yeah, and you know, okay, I've realized something weird about sound design. It's that a lot of the time, like, I'll just start making a sound randomly, and then I'll end up making something that I've been like listening to a lot by accident, sort of, but just because I go like, oh, that sounds like this, and then I kind of like, now I have something to aim for, you know? So I always find that very interesting how that goes. I think we'll go with a low pass. Yeah, I use the chorus a lot, even if it's like a low frequency like this, because of the low pass. I still like it. It adds like thickness down there, basically. Yeah. This is my pretty usual hyper setup. I wonder what that sounds like in mono at this point. Because this is a check I'll do occasionally if I think of it. Because it's actually more important than you think. Because if your sound doesn't sound good in mono, dude, it's just going to disintegrate in your mix. And that's by experience. It's like, I've had to redesign sounds a lot. And I don't mean completely redesign, but like, you know, change the unison and, you know, the stereo effects, because some sounds just, you know, if it doesn't sound good in mono, then it won't sound good at a lot of places. because a lot of places are mono, like a club, for example. Oh yes, I'm playing the virtual Riddim thingy. I love playing with the position of the different effects as well. Super interesting results. Oh, also the mono kind of makes you a little bit more humble, because then then you can't just, yeah, I don't know. You're not excited by the stereo effects and stuff like that. Hey, what's up, Connor Wood? Welcome to the stream. /SR. Not sure what that is, but I will check it out later. Okay. This is actually not bad. Okay, I'll save that. This will be like preset 1, I guess. Wub. Okay, now let's see what we can make this thing do that it's not supposed to do. Otherwise, why the hell make sounds? Yeah, I've been watching a lot of like tutorials lately for sound design, and basically I find it so interesting that, you know, some of the teachers that teach sound design, they're like, they make rookie mistakes on video, and then you go like, oh my god, like is this guy, why am I watching this guy, you know, other than maybe picking up on his mistakes. Because, you know, sometimes they'll put a knob somewhere, and then you're like, well, you should know that that is not gonna get you anywhere. And also sometimes you see them do stuff that sounds bad, then you go like, dude, this sounds like terrible. And then they just go along there like, oh yeah, so this adds like so much, it sounds so much better like this. And then you're like, dude, this sounds terrible, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, and the other thing with tutorials, like I've been doing a lot of sound design, right, lately, so and I love listening to what each individual effect adds to the sound, and so many tutorials don't do that. They'll never play the sound until the very end. So, you know, I guess that puts a little bit of, that sheds some light on how little they know about sound design if they do that, because they should be curious about what each effect that they're adding is doing, right? And if they're not curious, and if they're not showing you what each thing is doing, they have no idea what it's doing. They just stumbled on it by error or by accident, and it's like a miracle that you got something good sounding out of that. Whoa, what happened? Yo, thank you, Hyperless. That is awesome. Thank you for the subscribe. You're my number 1 subscriber, man. My first subscriber. Thank you. Oh boy, this has an interesting tone. It's not the most... It's not the, you know, most conventional sound, I guess. Considering that there's like a high pass doing the opposite of a wow. It's like ow, whatever. Do you hear that? I like that. Oh yes, also, I want to talk about a little bit about process for making sounds, because so that you don't get discouraged, basically. So I've talked about the effect chains already previously, and basically, let's say you've got like a cool sounding thing. Hold on. Let's say you've got something that you like, okay? Instead of putting a MIDI note down, and instead of doing a bunch of like administrative work, let's say, to get this sound in your sample library or something, just record yourself jamming out to it like this, for example. Okay, so this is not like the best performance ever, but at least the sound is audio now, you know? At least it has a better chance of making it into a song than if it was a preset that you'll never, in the hell of it, go back to listen to. Because let's be honest, like you never go through all of your presets. Can I turn my mic up a bit? Yes, I can. Damn, I I have a lot of trouble with this stuff today, I guess. Okay, looks like we're still live. Check. Okay. Got Amazon Prime, so I get to have a Twitch Prime sub ready to go. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Okay, anyways, what do you do with this? Resample. That's it. Wub. There you go. Wub is now a performance or a sample loop, I guess. It's not very musical yet. If you really want to get into it, you can put a click on it so that at least it's musical. And yeah, you just save the project as under the same name, and then that's it, dude. Like, now if you're in the middle of a song and you're like, oh, I need something like metallic-y or whatever to fill in here, then you go through your samples, and if you just gotta find it, which is the problem. Oh, one sec, I put it alphabetically the other way. So here it is, so wub. So if you want something like that, this could be a fill. Basically, so yeah, anyways. Just some interesting ideas here. Wubba-lub. Okay, no, sorry, hi. What's up, Saffron? I think I got that right. How's it going? Wub. A fill. Yeah, okay. Not sure what's going on. Oh, yes, and the other thing with this is that, dude, there's a lot of things about this, but you can resample in Serum, but you can also create a brand new performance just on the sample, which I find so interesting. So I can see there's another note playing here. And okay, so we'll start with this, I guess. This is gonna be a little bit hard, but okay. So let's stretch it out. So then you can go on the click, and you can start playing with the waveform. And basically start drafting out a performance out of something that was, you know, just a rough performance of something. I find this just way more fun than sort of tweaking presets. Then you could adjust the speed, multiply it. You know, you'll get varying sounds here. But yeah, you can get a lot of magical things come out of this technique, which you would never get if you were doing Serum presets all the time. So yes, chef. I'm fine. The vacation is going pretty quickly. Oof. Nice. Yeah. Oh, are you in the summer vacation? That's awesome. This is my vacation right now. This is my weekend. Oh, this is actually interesting if you loop this. And yeah, I don't know. You can also like cut a little bit. You can do stuff like this. I firmly believe this was one of the ways that Skrillex made some of his drops, because just how the hell else would you come up with stuff like that? You know, just something sounding like this. You know, or, you know, it's not perfect, but it's way more in the ballpark of, you know, of those kinds of drops. I believe Company does something like a process like this as well, where he'll actually just resample presets. Like, he'll make a preset and then he'll just tweak the hell out of it and resample all the variations. But the thing I don't like about that is that if you want to like show someone or reuse it in a future thing, but you don't like the performance of it, you can never get the same sound again. So that's what I don't like about, about just tweaking a preset endlessly without having any way of going back to exactly how you made it, if you know what I mean. But yes. That's why I like my presets. I would see a growl happen at the end of this thing, and I might have a sample or something like that. Oh yeah, also I'll let you hear this. This was made using exactly this technique. And also there's a bunch of filtering that happened. Also this one too. This was all this technique right here. So yeah, I like it. Oh, maybe I could... Oh, 1 second, I got an idea. Let's move all this stuff. Wait. Oh, we could even pitch that stuff down, eh? Brain. Bam. Wasn't Skrillex originally using FL? Yes, absolutely. All these 6 are sick. Wow. All these sounds are sick. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yes, they were all made using various techniques discussed in the stream. See if I can get a... Oh. Okay, and this sounds a bit raw and there's lacking top end. So this is a case where I might slap on another effect change. Although this is a bit intense, I could disable the OTT. But yeah, anyways. I'll turn the volume down a bit on here. I need a filler here. Like a... I think I got an idea actually of what I could use. So I tried to remake a I don't know, I don't think I should play this one particularly. I remade basically a demo of Breakin' a Sweat, which some of these sounds are here. Like that one's pretty good. You know, I like those. So hold on. Maybe I could do something with this guy. Boom, boom. Nah. Yeah. Bro, my sound design is stuck in 2011 and you're like 2020 already. Nice. Thanks, dude. Yes, I didn't do all these today, obviously. This was starting in June. I started doing these particular ones. Sampled loop. Oh yes, and you stay very organized and you can go back and find the sounds that you're looking for. Now, I am looking for a particular sound that I will load up, actually, because I think it's pretty dope. I just have to find the exact name of it. So anyways, here it is. So it's I remade that particular thing is, yeah, with a scream filter and all that stuff. Yeah, I think I'm getting a little out of fuel for today. Haven't streamed in a long time, so maybe that could work. Okay, here. I'm gonna show you guys one last technique for modern sounds that you might be interested in if you like the new dubstep and sort of rhythm, not quite, but you'll get stuff like this. And also there's one more kind of sound you'll get. No. Okay, I'll just show you straight up. Okay, so we'll start with a really basic reverb filter type of sound. So this will be low pass. And obviously we need some FM from B. So okay, I'm gonna slap an OTT on there and reverb filter. Alright, this will do. And have a sub playing at the same time. You don't really have to automate the volume at all. Okay, now what I'll usually do is slap on a effect chain as well. Okay, let's say that just for now. And finally, you slap on a amp on there. I'm gonna put a limiter just in case. And you slap it on lead. So you hear what that does to the sub. I think the sub is a little bit overpowering right now. But yes, this is the kind of crunch that you might want. This one is more appropriate, I think. I'll see if I can take out a little bit of the frequencies from the reverb itself. And there you go. Now I can actually. Anyways, that's the whole idea, is that you get a crunchy sub and a kind of reverb type of thing from the same patch. So yes. Have you seen those vids from Skrillex where he's showing the projects? Yeah, I did. They're pretty dope, but I remember I didn't particularly like one of them. Ah, interesting. I like both of them, to be honest. I just, since they were so expected, I don't know. You could really tell they were coming, so it didn't come as a surprise. So I wasn't as shocked as I was for other releases, let's say. Sound design in Serum is so easy. Not quite. You can get just as many shitty sounds from Serum as you can in any other sense, so be wary of that. Crunchy. Long time no see. What's up, Rogue, by the way? Welcome to the stream. Rogue is my #1 person that I tweet, I think. Let's try to make something a little bit more like dubstep-y from So, okay, this helps. And I kind of want to try this thing. Oh, another thing I like about the reverb filter is that if you stop it in the middle of the reverb filter, you'll just get this release that'll go like. It's just amazing. Listen. Like, do you hear that shit? That stuff is amazing for fills. So I'm actually gonna record some of them. So yeah, that's the kind of performance stuff I was talking about. Reverb, be crunchy sub. All right. And yes, we'll name it. We'll put that in the library. I need to get more organized with this stuff, cause yes, you growing a goatee. Haha. Sort of, yeah. I'm surprised you could notice with this like 360p camera. But yes, I am. Hope y'all like it, cause it's here to stay. No, I'm joking. All right, well, this has been a fun stream. It was an hour and 20. Not too bad. I'm gonna continue to stream. I'm gonna just go on a small. I'm gonna address something really quickly. So. Obviously, I don't want to like be a DJ of anything, of any sort. Yo, thank you, Stereozo. Thank you, Hyperless, for Stereozo. I appreciate it. That's awesome, dude. Yes, I don't want to be a dubstep DJ. I want to be a producer. I love teaching private lessons. Okay, I love streaming, and I enjoy doing tutorials. Sometimes, but I don't want to be known as a tutorial boy, okay? So this is very complicated, and I'm trying to figure this thing out. And hopefully, there will be sort of continuity with this whole thing. I'd really like to do that. Because I don't want to be like, I don't know. I want to do something exciting, in my life. So, anyways, hopefully y'all can be part of it. And so, yes, thank you very much, guys, for being here. I'll see you guys in the next stream, and keep making music. Never stop. And send me some shit. And if you want private lessons, hit me up. I'll see you guys later. Peace.